Thank you, Stacy. Good evening. This is DJ Powers reporting live from Big Bang Fireworks. And I'm here with a small child, and I just want to ask you, what do you think about these fireworks, little boy?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? Ha!
Where are these kids' parents? Weird kid. And welcome back to another episode of Crips and Corks. I'm your host, DJ, here with my co-host.
And Internal Empress, Keeper of the Dark Flame, Dark Prince of the Night, Bloodbath Goddess of the Dark, Paul, as usual.
You must have slept really well to put your whole title, just the whole CV out on the internet.
My whole government name.
Yes.
I was inspired.
Okay, so speaking of titles, did you know on British passports, if you have a title, you get to put your title on the passport, but it's not big enough, and so it's usually just shortened to, like, the last little bit. So, like, if you were the Duke of Manchester,
Okay.
you wouldn't be listed as Paul, Duke of Manchester on the passport. You'd be listed as Paul Manchester.
Paul Manchester?
Yeah.
That's crazy. People would just think it's your last name then.
I mean, to get on a plane, they really don't care.
Mm-hmm. Well, they should care about what your last name is if you're getting on a plane.
Anyway, that was DJ's fun fact for the day.
Period.
Paul, tell me about your blessings and curses this day.
So, the blessing is the snack wrap has finally returned home. It's back. It's returned.
Praise!
It's entered me in the best way.
Oh,
Yes.
I see.
Yes. It was a little hard at first. It's kind of crispy, so it, hurt a little bit going in, and I needed a little lubricant. But,
You needed that extra ranch.
We got it the whole way in.
You always ask for an extra ranch to go with it.
Girl. Okay, for real though, they put enough ranch on. The spicy one, okay. The ranch one, okay. It wasn't anything groundbreaking. They didn't upgrade it from the last time. Definitely nothing groundbreaking. But still pretty good. Go to your local McDonald's, harass your local McDonald's workers, and go get one. And then for my curse for the week, oh my gosh, I don't really have a curse for the week. Besides
I'm here.
that, yeah, I mean, things have went pretty well this week.
That's good. Yeah, you've had an exceptionally good week.
Well, I've been super tired this week, so I guess my curse for this week has been just being super fucking tired all week from doubling up episodes. As we've told you guys, we're doubling up episodes.
Yes.
So editing and researching all in 1 week isn't usually a thing for me, so
No.
that's been an adjustment.
Yeah, because when this episode comes out, I'm in Portugal.
Yeah, you're gonna be in a whole nother country.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to make the photo dump for this and leave it with you to post
Very that.
in case I don't have Wi-Fi, because my 12 o'clock midnight is gonna be vastly different than our this 12 o'clock midnight.
Right, exactly. We're not gonna be able to meet at midnights like Taylor Swift would prefer.
Anyways, thank you for asking, Paul, my blessings and curses for this week.
Who are you again? Which one are you?
I'm Stacy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Anyways, my blessing is I drank 2 bottles of wine last night, sitting on your couch with you.
Yes.
And did not wake up with a hangover.
Yes, we got lucky on that one. Neither of us have hangovers today.
No. Although you did drink considerably less than I did, but that was just for the sheer fact that you didn't enjoy the drink you had.
Yeah. I guess that would be my curse for the week was those little devil drinks I picked up. They look really fucking cool. What's it called again? Do you remember what they're called?
I don't know. It tasted like Satan's asshole.
Yeah, it was really bad. I'm gonna go grab one.
Yeah.
So it's called Devil Spiked. The can looks really fucking cool. That's why I got it. And the guy on the can looks like someone I would do very, very bad things with. The can is really freaking cool. We probably honestly should have used it for a Paranormal Pairing or something, but it's just really bad. It tastes like a Mad Dog or a Four Loko.
Yeah.
It's like 10% alcohol. Like, you only need one to get you there.
It smells terrible.
Yeah, it's just not good.
Wait, it says try it over ice.
Try it over. It's cold. Bitch, I don't know how much colder you can get it. Like, oh my god.
No, it's just not good. It's like,
Yeah.
just because you can ferment alcohol doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
You were so busy, you were so focused on whether or not you could, you didn't stop to think, should you?
Exactly. And it's just so misleading. The can's misleading, but I'm sorry to interrupt your
No, that's
blessing
fine.
and
So
curse.
that was my blessing, my curse. I can say this because my grandparents don't listen to the podcast. My grandfather he's in the early stages of dementia. It's getting really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much the forgetting, although he will tell me something 5 times in the span of 10 minutes. But one of the side effects is like unexplained aggression.
Oh, yeah.
And we're getting into that stage. He has fired 3 landscapers in the past week.
Mm-hmm.
All because they don't do grass the right way. So, if you're one of those landscapers, I apologize. And I apologize because I just sat there and I watched and I didn't do anything.
What can you do? What
You
can
can't,
do?
you know, sometimes you just gotta be a bystander.
Exactly.
You gotta pick your fights. And I am not gonna get into a fight over the lawn.
And where were you during 9/11? Were you just a bystander? Didn't do anything to help?
I mean, I was 4 years old, so I don't think there's much I could do.
Excuses. See, guys, nothing but excuses. Our nation was under attack and he did nothing.
I mean, my mom did a lot. We didn't eat for like a week.
Because of 9/11?
Yeah, because like her and my dad were between jobs, so
That doesn't have anything to do with 9/11, DJ.
Oh, she like gave her last bit of money to the firefighters fund.
Oh, see that now that you say
Yeah.
that makes more
Sorry.
sense.
I was trying to get to the end of the story, but you kept interrupting.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It happens.
Yeah.
Pop culture corner.
Okay, we have a very serious story to discuss, guys. This is a very somber one that really hits close to home to many people.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a really sad
Why
one.
didn't you prep me? I'm ready.
The antipasta salad on TikTok.
The
What?
fuck?
You don't know this story?
No, anti-pasta salad?
Antipasta salad. It's like
Antipasta salad.
yeah, it's like a caprese salad.
Oh, but like with olives and cheese and meats.
I don't know if there's olives, but it looks really good on the TikTok. Go look it up.
Okay.
But this story has been sweeping the internet. This lady goes to a 4th of... She just moved to a new neighborhood. And her son makes friends with another kid. And the mom invites her to a 4th of July party. So she's like, oh, nice. Let me make this really nice antipasta salad that looked really amazing. Looked really good. And she thinks she's going to go and make friends and everything. And she shows up. And the owners of the house come up to her and she's like... You can't be here. No one fucking knows you. Who the fuck are you? You need to get out. Embarrassing her in front of everyone. Kicks her out of this 4th of July party. And she's like, oh, I was invited by so-and-so. She's like, I doubt that. She gets...
Was it ever cleared up?
So she posts it on TikTok and it goes viral, especially after showing the picture of this beautiful salad. And then the owners of the house call her and they're like so embarrassed. It's like a misunderstanding and try and clear their name because like people, I imagine, started
Or
like
hate shit posting.
yeah, and probably sending threats to them.
Death threats and stuff.
Yeah, and then the neighborhood people start sending death threats to the woman with the salad who posted the TikTok. And they're like, you better watch out for the police. The police around here aren't on your side anymore after this. And all sorts of crazy stuff. The antipasta salad drama is crazy.
Okay, that second thing about like the cops aren't on your side anymore, like that's very relevant with that murder case that just happened where like the police officer was killed while at a party at like his fellow police officer's house and they tried to pin it on his girlfriend.
Oh,
Twice.
That's crazy. I didn't know about that.
We'll have to cover that at some point. But also, I think, to get on my soapbox, this is like, I get it, like, I don't know. I don't think that's what social media is meant for. And I think, like, I don't think the people who kicked her out were right, but I also don't think the woman who got kicked out was right for posting about it on TikTok.
Yeah, and
Because, look at where it's escalated. Because now both of these people are getting death threats. Both of these people are probably going to have to move. Spend money and move.
I think the people most in the wrong are the people sending death threats over salad.
Yes, I agree. But it just, I don't know. This whole, using social... I mean, this is one of my main problems with social media. Is it's just a very angry place.
Yeah, and mob mentality is a very big thing on social media.
It's
very easy to pile on people and pile on the hate and go too far.
It's an echo chamber. And the thing is, you're basically screaming into the void to hear yourself reflected back. And half the time, those reflections are just other people who think like you.
Right, exactly.
And it escalates greatly. It's and this is, ridiculous. Because, I agree. The people who are sending the death threats, you're most in the wrong. However, I do think that both the woman who made the salad and the owners of the house, they both have some blame to share. The woman with the pasta said, you shouldn't post about it on TikTok. Post about it on, your Facebook, where it's very small and controlled. If you have to. Write about it in your diary. Why doesn't anyone diary anymore? And the people who kicked her out, if she said, so-and-so invited me, you should have been oh, okay, well, just one sec, okay, and, send your husband or your partner to, go check with so-and-so, hey, this woman says you invited her, did you?
Right.
And also, I will say the woman who invited her, you never invite somebody to another person's house without asking them first, or at least telling them, hey, so-and-so just moved in the neighborhood, and, I was talking to her, and I invited her along. She's going to be here.
Exactly. But God only knows, maybe that even did happen, and, they were still just being assholes about it.
That could be.
Who knows? Anything could happen. We don't know much about the story. We just know what's on the internet.
Yeah. Wow. That made me really upset. I'm really upset.
Right. When I said it was, emotional at the beginning, I was joking. I didn't expect you to get emotional.
Well, when you said it was emotional, I was oh, I'm going to be sad. But then that actually pissed me off. But I also studied communications. And so this is this is my field. I've studied this shit. I know what I'm talking about. Anyways, let's drink.
Okay, let's get into it.
So today, we are drinking Johnny Walker Black Label Blended Scotch Whiskey, aged 12 years, and club soda.
Nothing like ruining a 12-year whiskey with club soda.
Shut up. Cheers.
Cheers.
And you know what? I dilated the shit out of that, so you're welcome.
I don't like it. I don't like whiskey. Not a big whiskey person. Not a big soda person. Not my favorite drink. I'm sure it's a drink for someone.
Yeah.
Just not me.
See, okay, I am gonna give it a 3 for the sheer fact that I have this bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Because when things go bad, I have a scotch and soda, and this is my perfect ratio. Barely any scotch, almost all soda.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 2 grapes. It's not awful. Just I'm not a scotch girly.
Yeah.
I'm not a whiskey girly. I'm a vodka. I'm a tequila. I'm a light liquor girly.
Yeah.
And that's just who I am deep down. I'm a basic drinker.
Yeah, but what had to do it for the episode?
Ooh.
Shall we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Graveyards are scary as it is. But one that is over 500 years old and has been used as a plague pit and a prison? Yeah, no. But what if I told you that something stalked the paths of this graveyard, seeking to harm the living? We often say, don't fear the dead, fear the living, on this podcast. But here, perhaps it is better to fear the dead. Today, we visit one of the world's most haunted locations, Greyfriars Kirkyard.
Period. Okay. So is this about ghosts or a cryptid
Ghosts.
or ghosts?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, just as I mentioned, when I said something stalked, I was oh, this makes it sound like a cryptid.
Right.
It is ghosts.
Right. I was thinking oh, is this a werewolf episode? Or...
Okay, I don't want to say ghosts. I want to say non-corporeal entities.
So a poltergeist?
Yes.
Poltergeist.
So there are ghosts, but there is a poltergeist, which we'll get to at the end.
Yeah, I'm interested here because I've heard different theories about graveyards, about how they're not as haunted as people say they are.
Most times they aren't.
Right.
Just because ghosts don't actually haunt where they're buried. They'd rather haunt where they lived.
Exactly, where most of their energy is tied,
Yes.
right?
But there's a lot of energy here, and I'm going to tell you why.
Ooh, okay, let's get into it.
So, Greyfriars Kirkyard is a burial ground at the south end of Edinburgh's old town attached to Greyfriars Kirk, and Edinburgh is the capital of Scotland.
Ooh, Scotland.
Scotland.
I can't do a Scottish accent. I'm really bad at accents.
I can do it a little bit. It's really bad, but I can do it a little bit. But like the Irish accent, it will eventually turn into a pirate.
Yeah. Yeah, we discussed that actually.
Yeah. I knew a Scottish guy and he used to call me, the wee lad with the heather in his cheeks and the eyes as blue as the lake.
The wee lad with
The heather in his cheeks and eyes as blue as the loch.
Oh, okay. That's fun. That's pretty. And someone called you that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were they, like, deaf, blind? Like, what was wrong with them?
Jesus. All of the above.
It was Helen Keller.
Yes. Kirk is an old Celtic word for church. So it's attached to a church. The name Greyfriars comes from the old Franciscan friary which originally occupied the location, and the friars of the order wore grey robes.
Okay.
So that's why it's called Greyfriars.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Now, the friary would be dissolved in 1560 during the Scottish Reformation when Scotland cast off the bounds of the Catholic Church and established the Church of Scotland, which was Protestant.
He said, "Leave!
Literally.
Get out!"
Literally. 2 years later, the city council decreed that the nearby kirkyard of St. Giles, it was called Kirk back then, it's now St. Giles Cathedral.
Okay, that's a prettier name.
Was too full and established a burial ground at Greyfriars after it was gifted by Mary, Queen of Scots. Which we'll have to cover her later because, like, she's got a crazy-ass story.
I can imagine. Most of those royals do.
Greyfriars Kirk, the church, was established in 1611 with the church being built in the midst of the graveyard. It would have a central role in Scottish history over the coming years. Approaching the kirk, you will notice it sits atop a small hill. But this is actually no hill. It is actually a mound of dead bodies which were dumped into pits during the plague and quickly filled over until Kill was created.
We're back at the plague pits, guys. We had them in Paviglia, and now we're at the other end of Europe.
But these ones aren't actually a focus. But to this day, when it rains really hard, as it is apt to do in Scotland, bones will actually rise to the surface of the mud.
And there you are. Free dildo.
Oh,
You're welcome,
Jesus.
kids. Free tossing stick.
Now, in 16... For the dog?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's just foreshadowing.
Something you can throw at your sister, something you can beat your family with.
Oh, Jesus.
Lots of different things that you can use the bones for. Make a nice little broth.
In 1637, King Charles I, son of friend of the pod, King James VI and First.
I didn't okay this friend of the pod.
Remember him from Pendle Witches?
Bitch, that was like 80 episodes ago. I don't remember a lot of that story.
The king who is like, witches! It's a witch hunt, but I'm heading it.
Okay. I don't know why he would be a friend of the pod if he doesn't like witches.
Because he's going to come up multiple times in this episode. Or not in this episode, in this podcast.
Okay.
Because he was a haunted AF dude. But his son, King Charles I, claimed he was the spiritual head of the Church of Scotland in the same way that he was the spiritual head of the Church of England, and had a new form of prayer book introduced at Greyfriars Kirk and at St. Giles Cathedral.
The cathedral, if you will.
Exactly. Now, at St. Giles on the Sunday that it was introduced, a market woman named Jenny Geddes, not like Geddes, Geddes with two Ds.
Geddes. Oh, I love Geddes images.
Jenny Geddes threw a stool at the minister presenting the book and cried out, "The devil give you colic, the hide of you, false thief, you dare say the mass in my ear?" I should have done it. I should have done it in the Big Edie voice.
Do it again. Take it again for the people. Let the whores know.
Edie, the devil will give you colic, the hide of you, false thief. You dare say the mass in my ear? I think that's also my Baba Yaga. But I'm more entertained by the fact that she threw a stool.
Now, a stool?
Like a stool that you sit on.
Oh, okay, that is kind of funny. She's just...
and she's throwing it, and she's like ramping up like, "False thief!"
Beat that bitch with a bat. Snap.
So this led to a riot breaking out in St. Giles. When it was presented at Greyfriars, just a couple miles away, another riot broke out. Because this is like the president coming in and saying, like, yeah, I'm the head of your religion now, and what I say goes.
Oh, okay. They did that in, like, England, though, I'm pretty sure.
But that's the thing. They did it in England, and now he was doing it in Scotland.
Ooh, and they didn't want that. They wanted freedom of religion.
Yes.
Okay. It'd be interesting to know if the pagans were still around at this point, or if they had been...
Not really.
Or maybe it's not really pagans. They'd probably have more Norse gods.
It would have been, like a Celtic pagan, which was, like, a mix of, like, Druids and Norse, the Fae.
A whole nother topic, the Druids and all. That would be so fun to cover.
Add it to the list.
We'll get there.
Now, the following February, a group of Scottish Presbyterians gathered at Greyfriars and signed the National Covenant, which declared allegiance to Charles as king, but refused him as head of their church, which led to the Bishops' War, which would lead eventually to the English Civil War and see Charles I executed and a republic established. And so I've got... So that's the Kirk.
Oh, it's pretty. It's nice. What a nice church.
And you can see, like, over here, the hill leading down, like, it's on all those bones. And then this is a painting of when they signed the National Covenant.
Nice. Now, I hope you know, in post, I'm going to be photoshopping a picture of Kurt from Glee's face on that Kurt. So it's the Kurt's Kurt.
Okay.
You're welcome.
You mean Kurt's Kirk?
Oh, whatever. You know? Either one.
Now, the struggle for the Covenanters, as they were called, continued following the restoration of the monarchy under Charles II. Are you following along?
Nope. I already lost track. Don't worry.
In 1679, they were defeated at the Battle of Bothwell Brig, being desperately outnumbered by the Royal Army. 1,200 prisoners were taken and locked in a walled-in field to the south of Greyfriars Kirkyard, which was then dubbed the Covenanters' Prison.
Not the walled-in field.
So I'm going to show you. So this is a map. So this is the Kirkyard here.
Mm-hmm.
This open field, that was the prison. When I say it was an open, like a walled-in field, I mean, that's all that was there.
It's kind of crazy having a prison right next to the church.
Well, it was called a prison. There was no prison. It was a field. There were no tents. There were no cabins. There were no structures whatsoever. They literally just locked them in the field and left them there for months.
That's crazy. I don't know if that's better than a regular prison or not, because you have, like, free roam, I guess, but...
But, like, you don't have an... And, like, these are, like, prisoners of war, pretty much, like...
Right.
Which normally, like, a POW, you're treated with a little more respect.
Right.
But they were just locked there. Fed, they would get a few pieces of bread, and when I say pieces of bread, I don't mean slices of bread, I mean, like, just chunks ripped off.
Right.
And they'd be lucky if they got water. The water they got was stale because it was just, like, sitting around in barrels.
I bet that was a bitch if you had celiacs.
I don't think they had celiacs back then, because if you had it and you ate bread, you died.
Right. If you were gluten intolerant back then, you were just done. You were out.
Somebody once said, like, I don't believe in lactose intolerancy and celiacs and, like, food allergies, because how come people were able to survive for centuries without them? I think it's just made up by people like these little Gen Xers who want to be affected. And it's like, no, you do realize that back then we didn't understand allergies, and you ate something and you just died, and it was the devil did it.
Exactly, yeah. Things existed. Science wasn't the same back then, like, yeah. And also, there's a little thing called evolution, like...
Yeah, it hasn't seemed to work.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the other thing that ran rampant through the Covenanters' prison was disease. because instead of bathrooms, they just dug pits and shat in them. And you know what happens like when you're trudging through piss and shit? Disease just spreads because it's so unsanitary.
Exactly.
And that's why they say don't eat where you shit.
You're welcome, kids. Full of knowledge this episode.
After a few months, the remaining 300 prisoners were sentenced by the Lord Advocate and Regent of Scotland, Sir George Mackenzie, to be shipped to the colonies and sold as slaves.
Oh.
So 12,000 or 1,200 down to 300.
Mm-hmm.
2/3 died.
That's crazy.
Of disease, exposure, because like this is over the winter.
Right.
Scotland in winter and you're just left outside.
Yeah, you're gonna freeze to death, like survival of the fittest, literally.
Literally. The number of surviving prisoners was further diminished when the ship carrying them wrecked a storm and killed 250, leaving 50 Covenanters from this battle alive after just a couple months.
That's crazy. So only 50 made it out of that 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That can lead to a very haunted area. I see where we're going. Foreshadowing.
George Mackenzie is not remembered well for his role in this period, which is known today as the Killing Time.
Not the Killing Time.
He is often referred to by the nickname Bloody Mackenzie.
Bloody Mackenzie.
Bloody Mackenzie.
Has a little ring to it.
It does. Ironically, following his death in 1691, he would be buried in Greyfriars Kirkyard, just feet from where he ordered the establishment of the world's first concentration camp.
That's crazy about him.
His tomb to this day is known as the Black Mausoleum.
Sounds racist.
Well, no, it's because it was like marble. And then it's faded.
Interesting. I'd say it's pretty, but it's not. It's probably prettier back in the day before it faded.
Probably. No, it isn't entirely ironic that he was buried in Greyfriars Kirkyard because during the period it was open, actually a lot of Scotland's most famous people or influential people got buried there because like this was the main burial ground for the capital.
Okay.
So it's not entirely ironic, but I wanted to say it was ironic because he's just feet away from like this terrible place that he had ordered established.
Okay.
Now, Covenanters Prison was later added to the kirkyard and is a host to a number of tombs and burials. So, see this patch right up here?
Mm-hmm.
That was bought by the kirkyard, and it's part of the burial grounds now.
Nice.
Scotland's medical schools going into the 17 and 1800s were famous for their anatomy classes and are more famous today for the means in which they got the bodies to use during those lessons. Resurrectionists, as the body snatchers were called, were notorious for robbing graves throughout the city to sell to anatomy professors and students.
That's crazy. Could you imagine your profession is just grave robber?
Oh, it was a lucrative thing.
Yeah, I imagine
We're going to have to cover Burke and Hare on here. They were like the two most famous grave robbers, and they weren't even grave robbers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're probably wondering how they did this. Under cover of darkness, they would sneak into the graveyard and dig a hole behind the headstone, vertically straight down with a wooden shovel, because a wooden shovel was less loud than a metal shovel.
Ooh, and I bet a wooden shovel was a bitch to dig with.
Probably. If that dirt was hard, could you...
And what if they were hard?
Whoops. Once they got down to the grave, they would saw off the end of the coffin, pull the body out, undress it, refill the hole, which would then be hidden from view of passers-by the next day. Because it's behind the headstone.
Right. That's actually kind of smart.
And they undressed it because, like, the people who were buried in the kirkyard are, like, a little more... The reason why they went after, like, rich people or middle-class people, much to those people's dismay, was because they were healthier.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would try and get those, but you didn't want to be like, oh yeah, I dug this out of the grave.
Right. And probably less chance of disease and stuff if they were healthier and such.
Now, if the grave was fresh enough and the soil was loose, what they would do is they would dig the grave out, but they would lay a big, like a sailcloth next to it, and they would put all the dirt there so that at the end they could just dump it in. And this has two reasons. A, it's faster. And B, you don't get any dirt in the grass next door to it.
Oh, so there's no, like, signs.
There's no evidence.
They really thought this shit out.
They really did.
Good for them. No, good for them.
Now, Greyfriars was no stranger to the exploits of the resurrectionists, and wealthy patrons spared no expense in an attempt to protect their eternal rest. The cemetery is home to a variety of intact mort safes, or metal cages placed around a grave to prevent the robbery of it.
Oh, isn't there, like, stories of things like that they thought that was because of, like, vampires and such?
Yeah, so there are modern stories, but that's just mostly, like, people in the 50s, like, making up stories to, like, scare their kids or their girlfriends into having sex with them.
Why did you look at me like that after you said that?
I didn't mean to. I was trying to take a sip of my drink.
Gosh, you give me the craziest vibes.
Sorry. Sex in a graveyard just really gets my rocks off.
Ooh. Crazy girl.
Now, the most famous resident of Greyfriars Kirkyard is known as Greyfriars Bobby.
Bobby from King of the Hill.
I don't know you! Bobby was a terrier who belonged to John Old Jock Grey, who was a night watchman for the Edinburgh police.
Why didn't he just get a new Jock? I mean, they're super cheap.
Jock is a nickname for John, and he was old.
Oh, okay. So he was looking for prostitutes.
Yes, but to arrest.
Crazy. You know a John is someone, like, a client of prostitutes. They would call a John.
I didn't know that.
Fun fact, kids! They would call Johns people who are looking to get services from prostitutes. You're welcome.
Maybe I should change my name on all my dating apps to John.
Oh, you remember that movie, Dear John?
Yeah.
Was Hannah Montana in that one?
No.
Miley was in that one. I mean, they're the same, but...
No, she was in the other one.
Oh, she was in The Longest Story, or The Longest Ride, or The Longest Yard, or, like, The Longest Bitch, or The Longest Coffee.
She was in the one where she liked the bad boy and her dad didn't like him. Ooh. But not Billy Ray Cyrus. Billy Ray Cyrus was normal back then.
Yeah. I mean, was he ever?
I have no idea. Anyways, Bobby would follow Old Jock everywhere, so as he made his, like, police rounds, this little dog would just follow his master, and, like, they would go to... On the watch, they would go to restaurants together, and, like, they were just known for going around everywhere, like...
That's cute.
Now, unfortunately, Old Jock did die of tuberculosis in 1858, and Bobby loyally guarded his grave for the next 14 years.
That's cute. But also, that had to have been an old-ass dog if it lived that long.
16 years old.
Okay.
And now, how did he live that long? Because tourists would flock to see this little dog and kept him fed and healthy. And he would also visit the local coffee house of John Trail, where Old Jock, like, used to, like, after a shift go in for a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. So he, like, knew that was part... So he would spend all night out in the graveyard, and then in the morning he would go to the coffee house and get fed, and then go back.
Okay, nice.
The Lord Provost of Edinburgh, which is like a mayor, Sir William Chambers, was so touched by this story that he paid to register Bobby in his own name and bought him a collar so he would not be snatched by a dog catcher and taken to the pound. Bobby died, unfortunately, I'm going to cry, in 1872 at the age of 16.
Rest in peace, Bobby.
Lady Burdett Coutts, an English philanthropist, heard the story and erected a water fountain across the street from the cemetery gates, topped with a statue of Bobby that has become a major tourist attraction.
I think I've seen that statue before.
Yeah, it's very famous. It's a big tourist attraction.
I think it was a meme, too, for a little bit.
Oh, my God. Now, recently, Bobby had his own tombstone erected just inside the gates of the kirkyard, saying, Greyfriars Bobby died 14th of January 1872, aged 16 years. Let his loyalty and devotion be a lesson to us all. Paid by the Dog Aid Society of Scotland.
Dog Aids?
And it was unveiled by Queen Elizabeth II's cousin, Prince Richard, the Duke of Gloucester. So it was important enough to get a member of the royal family.
Nice. Cute. Fun.
There is another statue of Bobby in the Kirkyard directly in front of the kirk. Bobby's master, John Gray, didn't have his own headstone, but recently somebody he got his own headstone donated by American Lovers of Bobby.
Not the American Lovers of Bobby.
Yes.
That's crazy that's even a thing.
It's not like a club. It was just like that's what they choose to sign it. Like rather than being like Doug and Deborah Smith.
It does sound better, yeah.
Yeah. The story inspired a 1912 book, which was turned into a movie by Walt Disney in 1961. Now, there is a rumor that if you go and you visit the statue of Greyfriars Bobby, the water fountain out on the street, and you rub its nose, it will give you good luck.
And you don't want to know what happens when you rub its cock.
Don't do it. Don't rub his nose. Leave the puppy alone, you fucking perverts. You're gonna ruin the statue and you ain't gonna get no good luck. Just leave it alone, you stupid fucking Americans. Yes, I'm calling you out by name.
Oh.
Don't do it.
You're passionate about this.
So I read a whole article where this is the original statue and only in the last 30 years have people started to rub its nose. And after 30 years of doing it already, it's come to the point where yeah, if this goes on, we're gonna have to get rid of the statue.
Oh, okay.
And this is the original statue. Just let the Scottish have something nice.
Yeah, they need it, honestly. Give them some sort of charity, because Lord knows the Scottish need it.
Oh, Jesus.
With those accents and those ugly-ass teeth.
You just hate.
I just can't let anyone have anything.
No. There is another reason why Greyfriars is a major tourist attraction today. In the early 1990s, a burgeoning writer often sat in one of the local coffee shops near Greyfriars working on her book. In between writing sessions, she would sometimes take a walk through the Kirkyard, where some of the unique names on the headstones happened to make it into the book. These names include Moody, Crookshanks, Scrymanger, McGonagall, and Thomas Riddle.
Okay, we know a little bit about the Crookshanks, though, so I'm interested.
These names are all featured in the Harry Potter series and may have inspired the creator and transphobe asshole J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, no comment.
Had to add that in there. Now, it's no wonder, with all of this occurring in roughly 500 years, that the Kirkyard would be a little haunted.
Just a tiny bit.
Now, while ghost stories have been reported for centuries, things really ramped up in the late 90s. In December 1998, a homeless man broke into the cemetery during a storm looking for shelter. He decided that Bloody Mackenzie's black mausoleum looked dry and attempted to break in, but the doors were firmly sealed shut.
Firmly grasp it!
As he looked through the grates on the door, because it has grated windows, he noticed a hole in the back of the tomb and went around the back and shimmied in the hole. You know something about shimmying in a hole.
Oh, I'll trust and believe I do.
As he stood inside the tomb, between the Mackenzie family coffins, trying to decide where to curl up and sleep, the wooden grate he was standing on collapsed and he fell through the floor. Collecting his senses, he lit his lighter to see where he was and found himself surrounded by a mass of human bones. He had fallen into a plague pit that the mausoleum had built over.
That's spooky. That could be a movie. That sounds like a horror movie.
Spooked, he began to look for the best way to climb out when he heard a low rumble. Oh.
That's giving The Grudge.
Thank you. He peered into the darkness to figure out what he was hearing when a rush of cold air accompanied with an inhuman scream smacked into him and knocked him over. Terrified, the man began scrambling to get out of the hole. Meanwhile...
Been there!
Meanwhile, outside, a night watchman was coming to investigate the sound of screams from the tomb. As he reached it, he saw the homeless man scrambling out from behind the tomb, covered in dust and screaming as he ran away. Before he could pursue the man, he heard a growl and watched as the locked doors of the tomb were ripped open from the inside where there was no one standing there. He, in turn, ran screaming away and only returned once the next morning to resign and hand over his keys.
That's crazy. That's a good story. I like that story. That could be a movie.
Thank you. Now, everyone...
What do you mean, thank you? You didn't write the story.
I told the story.
Okay.
I put it in context.
Okay, Samantha. All right.
Samantha Jones. Do me. Now, everyone assumed this was just a story of mistaken identity on a dark and stormy night amidst a winter storm, until a few days later. A woman was walking past the tomb on a tour when she was attacked by an unseen force, knocked over, covered in bruises and scratches. Over the past 20 or so years, the Mackenzie poltergeist has become one of the world's most violent and well-documented paranormal cases. When passing the tomb, people have felt extreme hot and cold spots, nausea, dizziness, have fainted. Women have felt slapped, strangled, and scratched. People have walked out with bruises, scratches, and gashes without feeling anything.
How do we know they didn't walk in there with them and didn't know they had them and then just discovered it?
Because, like, you're walking on the tour and you're walking in a line, and, like, you walk in and somebody's behind you, and then you walk out and the person behind you sees scratches going down your neck.
See, that's crazy. See, that stuff is spooky.
And, like, then you lift your shirt and you see the scratch, like, goes from the top, like, the nape of your neck all the way down your back, which no person could do on their own.
Right. That's crazy.
People also report feeling a lingering sense of cold and fear which lasts long after they've left the kirkyard. One woman reported feeling an icy hand grab her ankle, and to this day there is a pale white handprint on her ankle that won't tan and constantly feels cold.
I'm gonna need to see a picture of that. That sounds crazy. That sounds like a lot.
I'll try to find it for you. I don't have it handy.
No worries.
People report hearing growls, dark laughter, and banging from within the mausoleum. And what's really scary is that groups of people will walk up and, like, they'll all stop and half of them will be like, do you hear the growling? And the other half will be like, no, do you hear the laughter?
That's interesting. Maybe there's, like, some weird breeze that causes some sort of sound through the windows.
No.
That sounds different.
Because wouldn't people have, like, reported this for, like, in the, like, 2 centuries before?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay.
There are many reports of birds being found with their necks snapped outside the Black Mausoleum.
That's crazy. That's a bad omen. I don't like that.
There are hundreds of photographs of wounds from the Mackenzie poltergeist. And what's really crazy is there is no correlation over who gets attacked. It happens to believers and skeptics alike. Some are affected prior to arriving at the mausoleum, some are affected inside the mausoleum, and some are affected in the Covenanters prison, where many locals believed the poltergeist has actually moved to.
So all the activity in the kirkyard is centered around this mausoleum.
Mausoleum and the Covenanters prison just a couple feet away.
Okay. Do you think they awakened, like, some spirits when he fell through and into the pit of bones?
Yes. Now, the Covenanters prison area of the kirkyard has been closed by order of the Edinburgh City Council due to the ongoing poltergeist activity and the number of people being attacked in there. The only way you can get in is there is one tour. It's called the City of the Dead tour, and they have exclusive rights to take people in there. But you have to, but the City Council said you have to be insured out the wazoo.
And there we go. Paranormal tourism. But they charge you out the ass to go there.
As of 2012, there had been 450 total documented incidents, with a total of 180 cases of people totally having lost consciousness, never experiencing a fainting fit before.
See, that's interesting. See, when you have that much evidence, that's what's convincing to me when it happens over and over and over again. Like, that's what's convincing to me.
And also that, and then also the fact that, like, it doesn't just happen to believers, because, like, you and I are believers, and, like, we can kind of get ourselves psyched up enough to, like, we walk in, and, like, our body just shuts down because we believe something's going to happen.
Yeah.
But, like, a skeptic who's like, oh, fucking bloody Mackenzie, oh, I'm so scared. And then all of a sudden, like, they get punched.
Right. Maybe it, like, targets non-believers.
But also, like, but believers get it too. Like, there's no correlation. And one tour guide said, you could get 1 attack in a week, or you can get 5 attacks in a day. There's no, like, rhyme or reason.
It's like winning the lottery.
Yeah. Even the houses that border the Kirkyard have reported ghostly activity only since the Mackenzie poltergeist. There's one woman, she has an apartment that overlooks the Kirkyard.
Mm-hmm.
And she came home from a date with her boyfriend, and all of the pictures had been taken off of her walls and stacked in a neat pile in the middle of the living room floor.
That's spooky. I don't like that.
And the area around Greyfriars Kirkyard has been affected by unexplained fires. Like, fires just, like, light up out of nowhere in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a word for that, like, phantom fireworks. Like,
a little bit. Phantom arson.
Spontaneous combustion, maybe?
J. Andrew Henderson, who's the owner of the City of the Dead tours that I had mentioned earlier, actually had his home burned to the ground without cause or explanation.
See, that's interesting. The fire part is really interesting to me. It'd be interesting to know if they, like how they did on Pavilia, if they burnt the bodies once they were in the pit or just, like, buried them.
No, back then they normally just, like, threw them in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then I wonder where the fire part's coming from.
I'm not sure. But in 1999, spiritualist, minister, and medium Colin Grant endeavored to perform an exorcism over the Kirkyard to rid it of the dark spirits, especially in the area of the Covenanters prison.
He said, I don't know you! Get out of my graveyard!
Grant, an empath, felt a deep darkness as he entered the prison area and went weak at the knees and had to pause the exorcism halfway through to step out of the area and catch his breath. At the end of the night, he went to perform the exorcism on the Black Mausoleum and just balked at the prospect, feeling the darkness emanating from within, and just couldn't go in and continue. As the night wore on, he began to feel worse and worse, feeling weak and sick.
That's sick, bro.
At the end of the night, he said he had helped hundreds of spirits move on, but there was one larger, darker entity who refused. He was recorded by a reporter who accompanied him as saying, I'm afraid this has killed me. Colin Grant died of a sudden heart attack 2 months later.
That's crazy, bitch. Oh my god, that's a good story. Him dying, actually dying.
So this is a picture taken that night.
Mm-hmm. It's all blurry.
I know, but it's the 90s.
Oh.
So, and then this is a close-up of that window.
Oh, there's something in that window watching him, and it's like a dark figure.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Goosebumps.
Do you think him exercising and helping all those spirits move on took away his own life energy, and then, like, made his time on the planet shorter because it took some of his life energy?
Well, it goes back to, like, what a lot of people say, like, they feel that lingering sense of dread constantly after visiting.
Mm.
So maybe something did attach itself to him, and, like, maybe, like, whatever this spirit is, like, can take time off of your life, and maybe depending on how it feels, it could take moments or
Years.
Weeks.
Months.
He was
days.
only 67.
Well, I mean, in Scotland. Only
Jesus.
67.
So, the Kirkyard remains one of Edinburgh's most popular tourist destinations, as well as one of the world's most haunted locations. While we have discussed the Mackenzie poltergeist at length in this episode, it should be noted that numerous mediums and psychics have visited the Kirkyard and the mausoleum, and not one of them has attached the name George Mackenzie to the entity. So, it's highly undoubtedly that whatever this is the ghost of George Mackenzie.
Right.
However, to me, it seems like that the elemental from Lep Castle.
Yes.
Even right down to the same thing happened, where like there was this place where there were a lot of dead bodies and it was locked up.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody opened it.
Right.
And that's when it started.
See, that's what I was going to bring up at the end, is like, maybe it's like a culmination, this whatever the Mackenzie entity is, maybe it's a culmination of like all the dark energy there that created this being, this dark being. It's not necessarily like any individual spirit, it's a culmination of all the dark energy from all the spirits.
An egregore, like, created by all the darkness that has happened there.
Exactly. And I'm surprised there's not more like hauntings like over where the prisoners were. Like,
so there are. So I talked a lot about the Black Mausoleum.
Yeah.
But the Mackenzie poltergeist goes between the mausoleum and the Covenanters prison.
Okay. So it's over there too. Okay, yes. Cool.
So most of the cemetery is not haunted. It's just the mausoleum and then the Covenanters prison.
Interesting. And I do think it might go back to where it opened up with that bone pit, and maybe that allowed some of the energy from all those bones and spirits down there to like come up and be released, and that's why it centers there. It's almost like in Buffy the Vampire Slayer when they open the Hellmouth and then Sunnydale's like fucking crazy haunted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very much that.
I like this story. This is interesting, and I'm really curious about the fires, how the fires tie into it, besides like demonic beings just like even if it is a demonic being, we never said it was...
I light fire for Daddy. It's like poppers, but in my mouth.
And if you get that reference, you're brain rotted on the internet like we are.
Anyway, any other final thoughts?
No, I think this is a really interesting story. I definitely would like to research it more and know more about it. I would definitely love to visit. Scotland never has been one of the places I've wanted to visit. I would like to try haggis one day. It sounds interesting. Okay. I know it's like unpopular, maybe, but I don't know. There's something... I know I made fun of the Scottish a lot, but I'm sure they have a very rich culture and history. And I would love to visit and see your spooky shit.
Speaking of a rich culture, Paul, smash or pass, Richard Madden, a bona fide Scottish hottie.
Oh, we're gonna smash. I'm not sure who that man is, but yes. You said Madden?
Richard Madden.
Oh, like football.
Yeah, but he's an actor.
Oh, okay. He's really hot. What was he in?
He's in Cinderella.
Cinderella.
He played the prince.
The prince in Cinderella. Oh, okay. I did like that live action Cinderella.
He was also in Rocket Man. The one about Elton John.
Oh, okay.
He played Elton John's lover.
Ooh, I could see why. Okay, yeah. No, I did like that live action Cinderella, though.
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. This was an enjoyable episode. I like this story about this little friar pit graveyard. Not to be confused with a McDonald's, of course.
Of course not. Well, if that's it, I guess we can wrap it up.
Ooh, which is something I know you're no stranger to.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever shrink wrapped a body? Really keeps the juices in. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please connect us on all of our social media listed below. If you have stories about Greyfriars Kirkyard, poltergeists, or any other spooky, supernatural, paranormal shit, please email us and we'd love to share it on the podcast. Paul, where can they find you?
You can find me at my personal Instagram and TikTok at Paulember, Paulember. And as usual, it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
And if you'd like to follow me, you can do so on TikTok and on Instagram at TheRealDeejPowers. And until next time, keep your crips tight.
And your corks loose.
Bye!
Donkey! Donkey!
Not that the only word you can say in Scottish.